What do we got going on this week? The weekend review.
We have quite a bit of articles, quite a bit of little things. Definitely some stuff to go over. I want to start off with the fact that GPUs are back, baby. This is an article from Gizmodo I pulled, talking about the gap, and I guess the what seemed like the ever so large kind of gap to buy a graphics card at MSRP is shrinking and shrinking and shrinking, and it's very close to being MSRP price now for a lot of these cards. Um, the article actually shows some good data, which we'll get into in a second. And they say in the article it's the whole GPU kind of craze and time and time again whenever these like price spikes happen and this gouging happens, especially in the past, it's been like there's almost seems like there's no end in sight. But it says they're saying now it's kind of going to be sort of a happy ending coming up here. The GPU stock is finally normalizing, and the price of AMD and NVIDIA graphics cards is dropping to the point of nearing MSRP. Signal this new era, NVIDIA launched a restocked and reloaded campaign in the UK, which features in-stock products that you couldn't dream of purchasing just a few months ago. So the UK, EU boys are getting some light at the end of the tunnel too with a lot of this stuff. I can imagine it's probably a million times harder to get a solid price on a graphics card over there. So that's always good to hear. But the thing that interested me the most about this, of course, is a chart which I pulled up for the people watching on video. It's essentially a graph from, let's say, it looks like it was January of 20. Yes, we see January, I guess, of last year, 2021, leading up into the current day. And we could see towards the beginning of January 2021, it was it was about 142 to 134% above MSRP. In May of 2021, it spiked very badly. I think the highest tier says NVIDIA, the 30 series was roughly 300 to 18% higher than MSRP.
It's crazy.
AMD was still kind of bad. It was 216, but it certainly wasn't as bad as NVIDIA. That sort of evened out in June, July of 2021. And it's kind of been a steady sort of arc leading up to the end of 2021. And ever since January 2022, just a few months ago, it has been slowly and actually hitting a pretty gradual decline ever since and getting very close to MSRP price. It says as of April 17th, I guess when the last data point was taken of this year, it is NVIDIA is 119% over and AMD is only 112% over MSRP in percentage. So I don't know. What do you think, Mike? This is it's kind of like, we're seeing kind of with the consoles too. The shortage is kind of dying down.
Yeah. So we're getting basically back to normal. You know, the supply chain shortage. One of the things I actually learned about, uh, hopefully this is right. Hopefully I'm not getting false information. But the way the markets are basically working when it comes to production levels, like we had a shortage on I think silicon first and a couple of different composites that go in the chips, and then we had a major shortage when it came to actually shippers. So what ended up happening is like if there was one COVID case that happened in China in one of the ports, they shut the whole port down for like a week. So
Yeah,
that's why
jeez.
like there were so many things stuck in the intermodals, like the shipping containers, and they couldn't even come over. It's still that way, actually. Like if you order anything directly from China right now, it's going to take about a month to get to you
Yeah.
if you live in the United States. It's probably less for people that live in like Europe because it's a much closer. I think they use trains, maybe. I don't know. But what I'm trying to get at is like it's not just like a creation issue. It's literally a shipping issue as
Yeah.
well. So I think it's good. The availability's coming around. They're going to be launching. I mean, the next series of cards probably in the next 12 months. Um, yeah, just assuming rumors.
Right.
So prices are going to keep going down, but I don't think they're going to drop very far just based on availability. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. I mean, who knows? There's a chance if for some miraculous, reason the stock levels out and like we're back to MSRP price. Maybe even like if
yes.
there's, especially leading into the next generation, if we're close enough, they can maybe even do some sales on 30 series to kind of try and sell off some cards. But I guess we'll just have to see if it gets to that point. That's
I
probably
hope.
wishful thinking, but this is
I
certainly a
hope.
good indication, right?
Yeah, let me interrupt a little bit, just like going sideways we're not going to cover this directly in the episode, but I linked you the Avermedia spring sale.
Oh
And
yeah, yeah,
Avermedia makes some of their products from like I think Taiwan and Singapore and also like China.
right,
And they're doing all like their major headlining products are all on sale right now,
yeah,
which is pretty wild.
yeah,
I mean,
pretty,
they have one of those capture cards that's like two in, one out for it's like a cam link mixed with
yeah,
the
yeah.
1080p. It's like that came out like 2 years ago.
I know.
And it's marked 50% off. It's like, whoa, dude, that's
Yeah,
crazy sale.
it's crazy. Yeah, yeah, that
Um,
webcam you were showing us, that Evermedia webcam, that's like what, $90 off from retail, which is like only
yeah,
250 or something to start. It's
yeah,
crazy.
250 to 160, and then I watched the video of the comparison. It's like, man, they're obviously launching something new, right? You got to clear out space.
Yeah, I'm
I
assuming.
assume,
Um,
like,
yeah, I don't know
so,
what their sales numbers look like, but I mean, compared to Elgato, I have a feeling
yeah,
that they're probably not selling as much as Elgato, which isn't, necessarily a bad thing. I'm sure they're still doing well, but yeah, big sales like this are they oftentimes are tied to, maybe a shortage in sales. They just got to get rid of some products. Um,
yeah, true,
but yeah, I mean, not to say they're bad products though. I mean, I've heard good things about a lot of Avermedia stuff, so
yeah,
certainly a good alternative if you don't want to go Elgato.
I'm big into Avermedia capture cards. So, I mean, the 4K one that I got, I love it, and
Yeah,
I've compared with other people that have the Elgato 4K, and it just like the specs are better on the Avermedia. It costs a little bit more, but it's also on sale. It's
yeah,
cheaper than the Elgato version, so it's like I would do that if I'm shopping still, you know.
yeah. And I know
So
Elgato released a couple new products too. I
they
think
did,
I think it was in kind of in competition with some of the Avermedia stuff because like Avermedia, like you said, had that leg up on like some of the pass through like capabilities and
yeah,
whatnot on their cards. So Elgato kind of responded to that.
yeah,
Yeah,
really good to see. So basically, tech in general seems to be leveling out. Like we got like the PlayStation stuff
yeah,
restocking, evening out as well.
yeah.
So
I mean, I still am mind blown by the fact that Xbox like was able to hold stock for so long on their last kind of big
yeah,
restock. It's crazy to me. But I mean, it's happening, man. It's happening.
hmm
Pandemics hopefully coming to an end. So is the
yeah.
shortages hopefully on a lot of these. So we'll start
Oh, but
seeing some more stuff.
going back to this graph though,
Yeah.
one of the things that they show on there, I don't know if you caught this. Why do they have the price of Ethereum?
I think I'll tell you the reason they had the price of Ethereum, and I know it was like this whenever Ethereum was first like starting out, was that it was the only way you could mine Ethereum was with like a GPU. Like you couldn't use ASIC miners on Ethereum, so
Yeah,
like you had to get a GPU. And I think oftentimes, I mean, especially you could see even here around May of 2021 when Ethereum
right.
spiked along with most of the crypto market, you can see that the availability just like the pricing just spiked with it because it's like people were looking for these cards to try and mine Ethereum at the peak, and then it leveled out, and when it went back down and it dipped like to one of its like biggest lows in the past couple of years, so did the pricing
Yeah,
too. So I mean, the reason they include that is because it's directly correlated with graphics cards. And you could see that
very
trend.
interesting.
I mean, you can see here the price because Ethereum had that spike, right? And then they had the pricing went up on the cards, but then they had an even bigger spike towards the end of last year, and like
Right.
pricing. I mean, by that time, most of the cards were already out there, and people were already mining it. So it's like they didn't really need to buy new cards, right? So it just kind of didn't do anything on the pricing front for the cards. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. We may be seeing another spike soon, but I mean, it seems like even with the price leveling out to pretty high percentage on, oh, I guess a roughly high percentage on Ethereum, and the grand scheme of things, it's cards aren't affected now because it's just everyone has them.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
true.
so
Well,
yeah,
it's
that's
definitely
why.
good that they're leveling out
Yeah,
altogether. I just found that
yeah,
really peculiar because it's like, yeah, I didn't think you had to have a GPU. You know, I
yeah,
thought you could still mine it without
yeah.
necessarily using a G. It just
Again,
takes less
yeah, I can't
time
speak for how it
or
is
more
now.
time.
Yeah, I can't speak for how it is now. That was just when it
Yeah.
because I remember I had an internship at a tech company like it's like in the middle of college whenever Ethereum like for me whenever Ethereum first came out, and so it was like I was working at this company and I was working with some like other interns, and one of the interns he had like I don't know what cards he got, but he had bought like 4 or 5 GPUs. He set them up with a motherboard in an egg crate. I'm not even kidding. literally in an egg crate. He set up these cards with a motherboard, and he said it was solely so he could mine Ethereum. And he like set up a miner and everything on like a Linux box. Like yeah, that was like his thing. He wanted to try and get in early. Don't know what he's doing now. I don't know if he's made money. I hope so.
Probably not working if he
Yeah,
did it right.
I mean, you can only hope, man. He was ahead of the curve on that. 'Cause he tried to build
Good
that
for him.
miner, and I think he was able to get it set up like by the end of the internship. It took him a couple weeks though, I think, to like get it all working and all that. But yeah, I remember at the time it was this. He walked in like one day with like 4 or 5 graphics cards into our like little apartment. We are just like, "What are you doing?" Like, and he like explained it all. But yeah, it was really cool. But
Take it
that's
for
how.
gold.
Yeah, I mean that's how it was then. Like you had to use cards. Like you couldn't use ASIC
Yeah.
miners like Bitcoin. So, again, it's probably changed. That was years ago. It's like 5
Interesting.
years ago. So
Yeah.
but yeah, so that is why that Ethereum is there, is directly correlated with crypto. So yeah, prices are going down. Hopefully we see a good level out.